Alright, so here's the thing. Dennis Schroeder's pretty damn good, and he seems like a guy who can be the point guard for us. He's young, and he's already shown some ability to shoot. He definitely has to get better there, but he seems like he can be an overall balanced point guard who I would be happy to have as our starting one for a long time. However, Chris Dunn is pretty much the same dude, and the dude who did the draft class actually kind of screwed up Dunn a little bit, so I had to adjust his defense. He's a pretty decent on-ball defender with potential to be an overall defender, and of course his athleticism is off the charts, so I threw the offer at the Lakers for Chris Dunn. They said no to that. Sweetened the pot a little bit, still not budging. Okay, you guys know you're running him off the bench, right? 2 draft picks and my center, okay. Maybe Chris Dunn isn't happening, so now let's head over to Atlanta, and they're not willing to do this headache of a move just yet for Schroeder. So let's throw in a couple more picks. The Hawks are getting 4 first-rounders. They still say no. Hold on, don't cry just yet. The Atlanta GM told me they fear that Paul Millsap will be leaving in free agency, so we don't have to do all that to get Schroeder. So, Embiid for him straight up? Will that work? Okay, really? I set up this whole damn thing as like 19 moving parts and Al Horford and Anthony Davis forming the best front court in the NBA, and instead it's just Schroeder for Embiid straight up. So now Dennis Schroeder is the new point guard for your 76ers, and you're going to see in this first game with him a lot of pick and rolls, running the offense through him a bit more, and you're going to notice that guys like Nerlens Noel as well as Dario Saric, their impact's pretty huge because now there is a entire spot just left open in the front court rotation, so this is a pretty damn big deal. And isn't it ironic that we're going up against Ish Smith's new team in the Utah Jazz, who are already starting him, so I guess they're happy to have him on the team. Okafor the mid-range, and well, I kind of got trolled by 2K even though it was a green release. Maybe this isn't a good idea after all. Maybe this was not a good idea to acquire Dennis Schroeder. I don't know. But then I noticed that Nerlens Noel ends up on Ish Smith. Can Nerlens score his first post-up in the history of his career? There we go. He had to be on a 6-footer to do it, but he still did it, so I'm feeling good. Now here's the Schroeder and Noel pick and roll, something you'll be seeing a lot of. Okafor, same spot, different result that time. That mid-range shot is so important for Okafor, because if he can hit that, it really makes us such a better team in terms of pick and rolls and all that. Ingram is, of course, still a beast, and he's probably going to be the main guy for us no matter who we acquire. Let's run that same play with Schroeder. Can he hit? Oh my goodness. I could never run that play with Ish Smith at the point guard position. Now at the first quarter winding down, we're going with Saric and Noel in the front court, and that allows us to run the spread pick and roll, which gets Saric there. Another thing with Embiid being gone is Saric is definitely the 6th man now, and I think it's good to have the big man who can stretch from the outside, whereas Noel and Okafor, it's kind of a good fit no matter who he's playing with at all times. Ingram missed that one, which is pretty bad because Rudy Gobert wasn't even in the game. I mean, if we can't finish at the rim when Gobert's not in the game, that's a bad look. 9 points, and Schroeder, I'm going to need you to make a play. Can you do that for me? Well, Ish Smith just kind of fell down for no reason. I think I might have elbowed him in the face, I don't know, and then Schroeder, okay. I like it. I like finishing inside. The scoring is so crucial for us at that point guard position. Hopefully Schroeder can be that guy. Now, he still has work to do. I mean, his three-point shot is definitely behind his mid-range and things like that, but here's hoping it can work out. The mayor of Utah missed that one, Nick Stauskas. And then, well, I mentioned the mid-range a second ago. Schroeder's mid-range is like a 94, which is a little ridiculous. He's probably not that good in real life, but safe to say he's going to make a few if he's open. Now, Okafor, can you score on Rudy Gobert? That's a pretty tough task. Okay, Stifle Tower didn't mean much, apparently. And I mentioned how Ingram is probably the guy now. That's true, but Okafor is a hell of a number 2 option. And then speaking of Ingram, I just said, alright, screw all this offense stuff. This dude's giving me a little too much space. Ingram's the guy that I can have the most fun with and take a few bad shots with. Kind of like how I did with Emmanuel Mudiay, except for some reason that dude never missed one shot in that entire Nugget series. I'm trying to be a little more realistic with Ingram. I say that now, but he'll start scoring 40 points eventually. And look at that driving inside by Schroeder, forcing the defense to collapse. Someone was open, it was Nerlens Noel. Of course, once Nerlens develops that mid-range jumper, that'll be even better. For now, being able to just drive inside is cool. Shout out to Marcin Gortat for still having the mohawk, even though he doesn't have it in real life. So good looks on 2K for leaving that in there because it looks pretty damn good. And I actually mentioned Nerlens mid-range a second ago. Look at that. I mean, he's up to a 62 in the game, which isn't great, but if he's wide open, maybe he'll make a couple. It's not a go-to just yet, but it's showing progress, which is very good. I have no idea who just made that shot for the Jazz. I also noticed that Gordon Hayward wasn't in the game. Maybe they traded him for some stupid reason, because that happens all the time in 2K. Half the time, the Jazz will end up trading for a center, even though they already have Gobert. Because, I don't know. Anyway, we have to pull a Steph and Draymond with this sort of pick and roll, which finds Rodney Hood wide open. This is going well. Well, I say that, but then once we get into the fourth quarter, you get to see this beautiful offensive play, and by that I mean, what the hell is this? Also, Jason Smith is on the team now because I forgot that we actually don't have a backup center once I traded Embiid, so I had to sign him for like $5. We can't score. We're going to blow the game now. Maybe, maybe not. Shelvin Mack with a long two. That's the worst shot you can ever take in basketball. Saric the board, and look at Saric. This is the value of having him in the lineup. If he grabs a rebound, you got to stay on top of him because that three-pointer in transition, it's pretty damn real. But then I guess Shelvin Mack heard me from a second ago because he drops that one in. It's weird, in real life he wasn't much, then the Jazz traded for him and he became the second coming of Magic Johnson. So it's weird stuff with Shelvin Mack. And then Jaleel the mid-range, nice. Nerlens as well as Okafor being able to hit that mid-range jumper. Very important. Neither one of them are great yet, but they're definitely getting there. And can we put the nail in the coffin of this game? Well, they attack on Schroeder, Okafor right there. A nice victory over the Utah Jazz in our first game with Schroeder. Funny enough, he didn't kill it with his scoring, and to be honest, he actually didn't shoot very well from the floor, but he hit a few outside shots, which does excite me. And he also had, how many assists is that, 18? It's either 18 or 13, I can't see on the screen right now. Pretty damn good first game, and we have more stuff to build on.